Well, I'm pretty sure we're all pissed that Magicka Dragonknight's Power Lash is getting a nerf. I am too. And that is why I have created this build that pretty much completely counters that. This build doesn't even run Power Lash whatsoever. I know a lot of you guys are probably already thinking this build's going to be complete shit, especially since Magicka Dragonknight relies on Power Lash, but you are wrong. So let's go ahead and get straight into this video. So I've been running this build for quite a while now, probably a few weeks I would say. And then, at the time I didn't even know that Power Lash was getting a nerf. In fact, I don't even think it was announced by the time I made this build. When I saw that patch note today, I was like, huh, rest in peace Magicka. Oh, just kidding, my build counters that, fuck you. So let's go and get straight into the stats, shall we? Front bar, we only have 34,000 Magicka. This can go up to 36,000 if you run Inner Mage Light, but personally I don't really think you can fit that into this bar, or these bars, how I should put it. But I'm not running any Kuda glyphs in my armor, and you probably can get a little bit higher if you run Infused in the big pieces, and then throw a Kuda, Max Magicka on all of them. You can probably get 36, maybe 37k, maybe 37, I'm not sure, you'd have to try that out. 25k health, obviously in Cyrodiil. 10k, almost 11k stamina. 2460 unbuffed spell damage. 44% spell critical. Resistances are decent. Physical resistance is kind of low for unbuffed, but that can go up to a decent amount, and you guys will see how here in a second. 2511 critical resistance. 1339 Magicka recovery. 200 health recovery. And 700 stamina recovery. Spell penetration is 7k. If you guys care about any of these extra stats, here you go. We are a vampire. We are running the Apprentice. We're also running Witch Mothers. Show you guys the back bar. Back bar, pretty much all the same. Spell damage 200 lower. Everything else is pretty much the same. Spell criticals 34%, so we're losing about 10% on the spell critical. Everything else is still the same. Go show you guys the stats fully buffed. This is without the light attack damage, by the way. With the light attack, we're about 3.3, maybe 3.4, and about 3.4 to 3.5k spell damage with the resource buff. 44% spell critical. Physical resistance does go to about 15, maybe 16k when we proc Stone Giant. Alright, show you guys the back bar. Stats, again, pretty much the same, just less spell critical, less spell damage. And these stats are also without our blood spawn proc. Everything else is still the same. Alright, so I'm going to get you guys straight into this. This is a heavy attack build. That's right, I said it, this is a heavy attack build in PvP. If you don't like heavy attack builds, go ahead and quit this now. But if you're willing to give a heavy attack build a shot, you will not regret it, guaranteed. This build is absolutely ridiculous. The sustain is amazing. The damage is nerfable. Like, the damage that this build can output with just a single heavy attack is absolutely insane. And this build is also extremely tanky. Very, 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 very tanky. In case you guys are wondering, we are also running lingering health pots. You can go with really any base stat that you want, health, magicka, stamina, whatever. You probably want to go with stamina just because we don't have any other form of stamina recovery other than ultimates and stam regen, but that's about it. Lingering health is also makes us extremely tanky. Alright, let's go and get straight into the sets now, shall we? Sets, you guys ready for this? You guys ready? 2-piece blood spawn. I like to go with I'd like to try to get a heavy, well-fitted helmet, just that it reduces our roll dodge by 10% total, which would be very nice, but M-Pen also works. Ooh, you guys ready? You guys ready? Sets! 5-piece Wizard's Riposte. 5-piece Wizard's Riposte. You only get it on the back bar. Now, why do we only get Wizard's Riposte on the back bar? Shields. Guess what? You take crit damage on your back bar. Oh, guess what? You're trying to damage our shield. Yeah, good luck. Oh, didn't mean to pop a pot. You cannot crit a shield already. Wizards Riposte proc, you're already doing 15% less damage. Add that on top of not being able to crit our shields. That's GG. Good luck trying to get to our health. Our shields, especially for only being 7k with these two, 5k with only Harness Magicka, it's very, very hard to get us down. I've dueled some really good Nightblades, Howikir being one of them. His in-cap only hit me for 3k, and that's with my Wizard's Riposte proc and with just Harness Magicka up. If you're low health, pop all your shields. Your healing ward can go really high. If you're within execute range, if you pop a healing ward with your other two shields, you're not going to go down. It's going to take a lot of people to eventually break that. And then you can easily out-heal that with your lingering health and your burning embers. So we only have Wizard's Riposte back bar. Now, why do we run Wizard's Riposte? Well, for one, the max health, spell damage, magic recovery, nothing too special. But this is what's going to make us extremely tanky, and this is also why we are not running Talons also. Well, I mean, you could run Talons, the burning Talons, that deals damage, but choking Talons you don't have to run because this already gives you a minor maim to the enemy pretty much, and it's a lot longer. Instead of 7 seconds, it's 15 seconds. And they also can't roll dodge. Well, I mean, once you get minor maim, you can't roll dodge out of it, but still. Wizard Riposte, back bar. 4 in the body. Oh shit, I already revealed the second set. Anyways, 4 in the body, and Restoration Staff. Front bar. Oh. We're running 5-piece Night Slayer. One of the most underperformed, I guess you can put it, in underdog sets of the game. Now, why are we running Night Slayer? I'll tell you why here in a second. 2 items, maximum Magicka. 3 items, spell damage. 4 items, maximum health. 5 items, your fully charged heavy attacks against players deal an additional 10% of their max health as Oblivion damage. If you don't know what Oblivion damage is irresistible damage, which is very, very good. That's GG against any Magicka Sorks right there. It's GG against any perma blockers. It's absolutely insane. This counters so many builds in this game. This set is so underperformed, and it's such an amazing set. We're running 3 jewelry of the Night Slayer, all spell damage, and Night Slayer Inferno Staff infused. Now, why we're running infused over Nernhound? I have done the testing with both. I don't have it right now. Hold up. Okay, I guess I deleted it. But it was I've done the testing with Nernhound and infused. On how this build is played or meant to be played, infused is the better option. Why is it the better option? Infused increases your weapon enchantment effect by 30% and reduces the cooldown of it by 50%. And if you guys don't know what that is, that's pretty much half. Then we're running a Kuda Oblivion damage. So, let's say we're fighting a target with, I don't know, let's just do some simple math. We're fighting a target with 10,000 health. 10% of 10,000 is 1,000. So that means we're dealing 1,000 damage from the Night Slayer, plus the 2,000 damage from the Oblivion damage. That's 3,000 damage minimum that they're taking with the single heavy attack. And that doesn't seem like a lot because I'm using such small numbers. When you're going up against players that have 20k, 30k health, 25k, this set performs so well. So then every single heavy attack with an infused, you're proccing the Oblivion damage enchantment. So then you have let's say on average, I deal about 6,000 Oblivion damage on average. I would say just about 6,000. So we're dealing 6,000 minimum, bare minimum damage with a heavy attack, on top of the about 9-10k crit of a heavy attack, depending how tanky they are. I'd say I average about a 10k crit heavy attack, maybe 11 here and there. I'll hit a 12k. So then all that damage plus the irresistible damage you're taking from the Oblivion. And the Oblivion procs every single heavy attack, while with the Nernhound it procs every other heavy attack. Light attacks infused proc every other light attack. With Nernhound Oblivion damage, it procs every 2 light attacks. So I've done so much testing with the Nernhound and the Oblivion, you get more damage with the infused for once. So that is why we're running this. And this build can easily work on any other class, but it specifically works for Magicka Dragonknight because of Molten Ornaments. Your own damage with fully charged heavy attacks is increased by 40% while active. That buff is extremely huge. Now, let's go in and get into the combo of this set. So how do you play this build exactly? Here's how you play it. You add all your buffs. Burning Embers, whatever. Here and there I'll run Engulfing Flames. Oh. What? Now why would I run Engulfing Flames over Burning Embers? Burning Embers has the nice heal. Yes, I get it. Enemies take 10% more fire damage. Proc that. Everything hits. Heavy attack. Stone Giant. Or typically you're going to want to pop Ellie Drain. So Ellie Drain. Heavy attack. Stone Giant. Light attack. Stone Giant. Burning Ember proc if you're running that. Or Engulfing Flames for the extra little tick. And then that right there is a huge burst combo, especially if you time it with your Flames of Oblivion. It is so much damage that you can output within such minimum time. It's absolutely ridiculous. I love it. So, now let's go and get straight into the skills. Dragon Fire Scale, you don't have to run this. I run it just because of all the snipe spammers and Sork gankers and whatnot. Flames of Oblivion, this is going to give you a major prophecy and also deal 7,000 flame damage every 5 seconds as the tooltip. Burning Embers for the heal and also for the dot, but you can switch this out for so many other skills. Now, yes, you can run Flame Lash, I guess. I don't know why you'd want to run it next patch. I mean, it's getting nerfed to the ground pretty much. I mean, it's only going to proc every 3 seconds. The sustain on this is not going to be reliable anymore. You can run Engulfing Flames. You can run Talons if you wanted. And you can also run Fossilize if you wanted over Stone Giant. You could also run Force Pulse if you wanted. And you can also run Destructive Clench for the knockback and the dot. However, Stone Giant hits very hard if it knocks the enemy down. Oh, and if you guys are wondering why I'm running an Inferno Staff instead of a 2 swords, sword with Night Slayer and sword with Wizard of Past, so you have it up all the time. Here's why we're running Inferno Staff. Destruction Staff abilities, ignore 10% of the enemy's physical resistance. From what I've been testing, it feels like that also counts towards heavy attacks, but I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong. Trifocus fully charged flame heavy attacks deal 12% additional damage. 12%. That is why we're not running a shock. It's also why we're not running a frost. Ancient Knowledge, Flame Staff increases your damage on single target abilities by 8%. That is 3% better than swords. So if you were running Flame Lash with this build, your Flame Lash would be hitting 3% harder than what swords would be hitting for. Flames of Oblivion, Burning Ember, Stone Giant, etc. Also for the Destruction Staff abilities, this also counts for heavy attacks. I'm pretty sure, again, correct me if I'm wrong. That's pretty much why we're running heavy, not heavy, but Inferno Staff. Anyways, back into the skills. Burning Embers, I like it for the heal. Stone Giant, this is your skill that you're going to be using after heavy attack. Elemental Drain for the sustain, minor Magicka steal, and for the major breach. Ferocious Leap for the sustain and the burst. It's only a 16k tooltip. I know that is very low compared to my other builds, but with a lower Magicka pull, you just can't get super high tooltips with this build with these sets because the Magicka, you just can't get it higher than 36, 37k would be your complete max. Maybe 38k if you're running Inner Light with Kuda and Infused and whatever, but you guys will have to do the testing yourself. Hardened Armor for our Major Resolve and Major Ward, and this will also give us a small little shield. 7k, almost 8k. Healing Ward, Elusive Mist, Molten Ornament, and the Resto ult. For the Restoration, you're going to want to morph that to Light's Champion. Alright, let's go get into the champion points. Do another one there. So you're going to want to get about 18% in the break free. 57 Tenacity, 43 Arcanist, 19 Mooncalf. 26 Tumbling, you're going to want to get about 15%. And you're going to want to get about 10% Shadow Word. You can throw a little into Blessed if you wanted to. You're going to want to get about 11 to 12% Elfborn. About 15% LE Expert. 2k to 3k spell erosion. 51 Master at Arms, 26 in the Staff Expert. You're going to want to try to get this to 20% if you can, or closer. 35 in the Thaumaturge, you're going to want to get that about 15%. You're going to want to have about 23% ironclad, 38 resistant is max, 30 hardy, 30 Ellie, 23 thick skinned. You're going to want to get those numbers all, you're going to want to get these to about 10% and this to about 15. And 19 quick recovery for the 5.22 increased healing received. Anyways, that's the end of this build video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment down below on what you guys think. Give me your opinions on this build. I doubt anyone has ever ran this build on a MagDK. So I'd like to say I am the original creator of this build. I'm not 100% sure. Oh my god, I didn't mean to do that. I'm not 100% sure. But I've never seen anyone ran this, and this is by far one of my favorite builds, and it's going to be very effective next patch, especially since Meowths won't be able to detect when you're charging up your heavy attack, so it's going to be harder to dodge. Anyways, take care guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.